Hi guys, I'm Devon Harris, and this is the third of 3 videos I want to share with you, just giving you some positive support. I want to share some positive thoughts with you and offer you some encouragement as we all work to get through this challenging time. I just want to be able to hopefully lift your spirits. Because look, it sometimes feels like we're living in a bad movie, doesn't it? It seems that almost every minute something is changing. We have spoken about the fact that so many people have lost their jobs. Some industries are on the verge of just going under, it would appear, or feel. So many of us are juggling all these different balls. We're trying to keep our careers and our businesses afloat while we're homeschooling, and at the same time we're trying to figure out the finances and still trying to navigate our way through these challenging times. These are definitely unprecedented, right? It's new territory, absolutely new territory. It's almost like we're in the middle of a wilderness, man, and we don't have a map. We're not exactly sure where we are. We have no idea where the end is, and if we get to the end, we won't even know that we're at the end, right? Because we don't have a map. It's kind of like being in a basketball game or some other game and there's no game clock and you're expected to play full out, not having an idea of when the game ends. And this is perhaps the most disconcerting part of this whole experience, not having a sense of when it all ends. And so the question is, how do we do it then? How do we keep on pushing with all our energies, all our might, all our focus with no end in sight? Well, let me share with you 4 ideas as to how I believe you could do that. And the first one is that you have to begin with the end in mind. It's really good advice from the late guru himself, Mr. Stephen Covey. But some of you might be going, well, Devon, that doesn't make any sense. We have no idea where the end is. How are we going to begin with the end in mind? Well, look, you have to know, you have to believe that somehow or another, sooner or later, hopefully sooner rather than later, we are going to get to the other end of this crisis. We will get to the other end of the crisis. And so the question now becomes, when we all get to the other end, what would that look like for you? What would it feel like for you? And so you have to prepare yourself for that. And you start by figuring out in your mind, getting a clear as picture as possible in your mind what getting to the other end of this crisis is going to look like for you. Yeah, once you get there, what would it look like? What will it feel like? Because by doing that, you are training your mind to identify the resources you're going to need along your way. You're training your mind to find the resources you're going to need in order to succeed, to make this a successful journey from the middle of this crisis to the end. It's a little bit like, if you're a video game player, as you're going through the path playing the game, your guy is going to pick up these tokens along the way. That gives them more power, I suppose. I'm not a video game player, and maybe I'm dating myself here. But yeah, when you begin with the end in mind, when you have an idea of what you'd like your life to be like at the end of this crisis, your mind now knows what to look for to help you along the way. But it also creates this inner motivation, this inner drive that gives you the power to strive, to keep on going, although you're not quite sure where the end is. It's a little bit like, in the middle of the ocean and you know that the shoreline is somewhere over there, but because you have a picture in your mind of what's going to be like when you get to that shoreline, you find the energy to keep on rowing, to keep on going, as difficult and as frustrating and as tedious as that could be. The second thing that you can do to help you to stay focused even when the end is not in sight is to be grateful. No, not grateful for the tough times, but grateful for all the positive things that exist in your life right now, right? So if we go back to the visual of you being in the middle of the wilderness, that may not necessarily be fun, but you can be grateful for the fact that you have water to last you along this long journey. You can be grateful for the fact that you feel relatively strong enough, right? You're not injured, so you can make the journey. You can find shelter at night, right? So in today's crisis, you may be in a job where they reduced your salary by 20%. It's not ideal, but you can be grateful for the fact that you still have a job. You still have the wherewithal to take care of your responsibilities. You see, when you're grateful, you find time to focus on all the blessings, all the good things that are taking place in your life, as opposed to focus on the issues. If you think about it, in the grand scheme of things, there are more good things that are happening in your life. There are more things that are going right in your life than there are things that are working against you and are going wrong. And so it's really important to be grateful because it transforms your challenges into opportunities. So that's number 2, be grateful. The third thing that I believe you should think about as you work to keep on pushing even when there's no end in sight is to reevaluate your life. So earlier we spoke about the fact that crisis is really preparation for the challenges, the crises that are yet to come. And I believe they are. They provide a wonderful opportunity for us to take a time out and start thinking more introspectively, more deeply about our lives, and start looking at the meaning that we have attached to many of the things in our lives. And so it's really a time to start looking and asking, hey, the goals that I've been pursuing, are they really worthwhile? The level of importance that I've attached to some things, and the things that I held as really precious in my life, do they still have that same meaning to me? Right? What am I doing, or why am I doing the things that I'm doing? And I don't necessarily mean the things that you do on a daily basis, right? If you are a meeting planner, let's say you're booking events and organizing flights, or if you're closing a sale or whatever it is that you're doing. No, I'm talking about your higher purpose. Why am I doing the things I'm doing? How am I creating an impact in the world? How am I playing a bigger part in the world outside of myself? Am I making a difference in the lives of other people by hosting a meeting or closing a sale or working on this project or the other, right? Those are the questions that you have to ask yourself. And in this period of slowdown, I think the additional time that we have offers us the opportunity to do that. So that's number 3, reevaluate your life. And number 4, you have to be persistent, right? You have to find a way to, keep on pushing. You have to find a way to keep going. As I said earlier, it could be tedious, might be frustrating. But really, what other choice do you have? If you're in the middle of the wilderness, if you're in the middle of the ocean and you know the shoreline is over there somewhere, what other choice do you have but to keep going, right? I think when you're able to keep that image in your mind of what the shoreline looks like, right? When you're able to keep that image in your mind of what the end will look like for you, that's going to give you the impetus to keep on going, to keep rowing one stroke, one row after another. If you're in the middle of the wilderness, to take one step after another, right? It's believing, man, that somewhere or another, look, My business will come back. My industry will come back. It might be slow. It might take a while, but I have to keep going because I believe and I know in my heart that I can make it happen, right? And when you have that image and when you connect with the reason why you're doing it, your purpose, the impact that you want to make in your life, and when you again reconsider and rethink, reevaluate the meaning that you're attaching to these things, I think it really gives you the impetus, gives all of us the ability to keep on pushing even though we don't see the end. So yeah, those are the thoughts I had, wanted to share with you, wanted to really, as I said earlier, offer you some positivity, some encouragement. We're all going through a challenging time right now. Some of us are having a rougher go at it than others. But I want you to know, wherever you are on the scale, you're not alone. I am here and there are other people in your life as well who you can lean on. I just wanted to do my part to offer you some encouragement, to give you some positivity, man, and to remind you that you have it in you already, the fortitude, the strength, the emotional resilience, because you've been prepared. And you just have to dig deep and do what I always do, which is to keep on pushing. I'm Devon Harris. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click on that subscribe button and hit that bell. You'll get a notification every time we post a new video. And don't forget, share it with your friends, man. They want to be inspired as well, right? So share it. Don't keep it. And before you go on to the next video, visit my website, www.devonharris.com. Keep on pushing.